How's it going, everybody? Happy freaking Saturday. Happy Saturday. And you know, I've been playing around with the stream. I've been trying to make it better, more interesting. I know I've got too much light on this side of my face, but hopefully you guys will forgive me because, well, I just ran out of time setting up the stream. I've got this new rig that goes over the desk and allows me to mount the camera in certain positions. So I had to use a different lens than I normally use, and I'm still working on getting it set up correctly. But as you could tell, we've got some interesting developments here because now I can actually highlight chats. Shout out to Marco, channel member. Thanks for joining in. Welcome into Fookdoozle. Welcome in. We've got multiple people in here on a Saturday, and here's the thing. Normally I'm not expecting huge crowds on Saturdays yet because this is only the second time I've gone live on a Saturday, and it's weird. Normally it's Wednesday, I'm in the middle of the week, and I'm just getting everything going for the rest of my week. But yeah, no, it's Saturday. And here we are. How is everybody doing? Shout out to Homer Feltes, first person in the chat, channel member, of course. Homer, thank you for being a channel member. Shout out to T Fetch as well. Charles Wooden, welcome in, man. Good to see you. Yeah, and I gotta change things. Let's see. Yeah, it still works. Okay. Yeah. Congratulations to Charles for winning the 6K subscriber giveaway. Charles, your package is in the mail, but you know that. We got shipping information sent off yesterday. So you should be getting that soon. Congratulations again. Thank you for being a valued member of the community. Hey, we got Ground Fog joining in as well. How's it going? But guys, what are you carrying today? What's in your pocket? Today, I'm carrying this bad boy right here. This is the Kubi Titanium Titius, or as I like to call it, the Thai Tits. I can't help it. You know what? It's the breast budget knife ever. That's right. Bad jokes are apparently going to become a thing on these Saturday live streams. We're gonna give it the old college try, and I see if is that better? Nope. Is that better? Probably not. What if I do this? I don't know. I should probably just stop messing with it already and get on with the rest of the live stream. You know, I'm really looking forward to seeing what these Saturday live streams yield. You know, like it was about a year of live streaming on Wednesdays before those really started picking up. You know, just hanging out, me and like 10 other people, and then they started picking up. People started to join in, and now we've got like 50 to 60 people consistently joining in on Wednesdays. But people just don't know about these Saturday streams yet. They will. Fookdoozle says, "Good conversation trumps perfect lighting." Yeah, I would agree. You know, I would generally agree with that. And I'm still working on getting this whole comment highlight thing going, but I use a different system than everyone else who uses StreamYard. It's for those of you who wonder, why doesn't Rollshambo just use StreamYard? That's what we're used to seeing, you know, with the comment highlights popping up beautifully, you know, with the different things StreamYard does. StreamYard is great if you pay for it. I don't feel like paying for it. And yeah, there's a free version, but the free version kind of dumbs down the quality of the video, and it has a lot of limitations, and I just don't want to pay for it, to be honest with you. Like, the cost of living in today's society is already more than enough, right? We're in the silent recession. So no, I will not pay for that. I use a different system to stream, but it gives me the ability to have full control over the stream. The quality is based on the equipment that I use, the power of my computer, so on and so forth. So if you're wondering, that's why I don't use StreamYard. I don't want to pay for it to get the same kind of quality that I shouldn't have to pay to get. I shouldn't. Hey, shout out to Charles Wooden for becoming a connoisseur and collector of all things sharp and shiny. Charles, thank you, my man. Thank you. I have a feeling you've been here before. You've been a channel member before. Welcome back, man. Thank you so much for supporting. He says, thanks again. Yeah, man, thank you. And I'm gonna, yeah. Hey, shout out to ZenX joining in, as well as EDC Richard Cranium says, what up, fam? ZenX says, here we go. Why don't we just highlight it? He says, the Joseph Gordon-Levitt of the knife world. Love your stuff, man. You know, I've heard that so many times. People are like, you look like Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And I, you know what? At first I was like, really? I just want to be, you know, recognized as my own person. And then I just decided, you know what? Might as well own it. It's better than, you know, looking like, I don't know, Hitler. There is a reason why I don't grow facial hair, because I don't grow it well and it's just not worth it. But thank you, man. I appreciate that. All right. Looks like Fukudoozle carried the Civivi Vision FG and the Vosti Thunderbird. That's a good carry right there. You know, I was thinking about this today when I decided to carry the titanium Titius, which is if you pay retail for it, which I don't know why anyone does, because these are frequently on sale in like the $60 to $70 range, which is mind-blowing to me. It's quite honestly the knife that you carry when you want to carry something really nice, but you don't feel like potentially damaging like an expensive collector's piece. Because you think about it, this has all of the markings of an expensive knife. And when I say expensive, I mean like $200, $300, $400. It's got this milling, this diagonal milling that's very intentional. It lends to a really, really nice grip on the knife. The contouring is expert level. Titanium pocket clip, T8 hardware, single-sided captive pivot. You know, the works. Many of you probably saw my video on this. I am going to do an update on it. It's the season for updates. But I was thinking about it. I was like, is this the perfect carry knife for someone that wants to carry something more premium, but doesn't necessarily want to risk damaging a collector's piece that they might want to, you know, turn around and sell later? And I was thinking about that, and I was like, you know what? It very well might be, because this checks all the boxes. The one thing is that it doesn't have the super premium, you know, super steel. It's got 14C, but the 14C is cryo treated to 62 plus HRC. And in my experience with this so far, it's been reacting and acting very similar to S35. And that's just super impressive to me. It's also extremely fidgety. I enjoy it. I'm going to put this down and check out the chat some more. Let's see. Fukudoozle says, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, would you prefer people to tell you look like Steve Buscemi? Steve Buscemi is a hero. Did you know that Steve Buscemi is 100% a certified bona fide firefighter? And during 9/11, he actually walked off set of something he was filming so that he could go and help out the people in the Twin Towers and see what he could do to help out the firefighters that were dealing with that. So he's got my respect. 100%. Steve Buscemi is a badass.
Certified badass.
Thomas McDonald says, the milling on the Titius is like the Jetstream. Yeah. And you know, I think that, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that this was actually released before the Jetstream. And I know that Knives Fast, Casey from Knives Fast, did review this knife very early on when it was released last year. It makes me wonder, did the milling on here, did it inspire the milling on the Jetstream. Another fantastic knife, by the way. Zenex says, I've watched your video on D2 so many times, I think it's becoming one of my favorite knife steels. And I'm no longer considering myself a steel snob. The little Valen still rocks. Dude, D2 is... Here's the thing about D2. And I tried to convey this in my video, which some people took umbrage with. That's a good word, umbrage. D2 is a good knife steel if it's heat treated properly and if its hardness level is at an acceptable amount. If it's D2 at 60 to 62 and it's gone through the proper heat treat process, then yeah, it's a totally fine steel as far as we're not pricing it too high. What is too high? I would say for properly heat treated D2, I wouldn't want to, like, and I'm talking like 62 HRC, I wouldn't want to break the like 125 plane, and that would have to be for a very, very premium knife in D2. And when I say very premium, I mean that the fit and finish has got to be on point. It's got to be good. Otherwise, I'm just not going to complain at it in the sub, I don't know, $50, $60 price range. All right. But yeah, thank you, man. That's actually been one of my most popular video series, is the Steel Stomp series. And here's the deal. Like, I try to convey this in those videos. I am not a metallurgist. I am not a knife maker. I am an enthusiast who sharpens their knives, who uses their knives, and who has an inquisitive brain. I can't turn it off. You get me going on a tangent and I start to ask questions. I start to do research. And I said, you know what if I just put that research into a video series? And so it is difficult for me to make those videos because I have to teach myself something every time. And then I always have to ask the question of, did I give out that information correctly? Am I doing anyone any favors? Because if you look at the comment section on the D2 Steel Snob series video, it is divided. Like, there are experts from both sides in that comment section, like experts calling me out, saying that I'm completely dead wrong. Other experts saying, yeah, we've been waiting for this for forever, and here's my wealth of experience. But it's crazy. You come out with anything publicly, and all of a sudden, everyone is an armchair expert, and everybody has their own opinion. And I had one guy who was, man, he gave me a hard time for not talking more about CPM D2, which is far different than regular D2. And I was like, listen, I just gave out the information that I got to the best of my ability, the way that I translated it, you know, the average everyday knife enthusiast. And if I was to change my opinion with every knife comment, I would have to make a million different videos on the topic. You know, who should I learn from in the comment section? Or do I just look up the information and translate it to the people who care to listen as best I can and let them make up their own minds if it has any validity? It's a really interesting conversation, and I'm highly entertained by how passionate people are. It's kind of crazy to me. EDC Richard Cranium says, anyone want to make a trade, a Weeziphius button lock, black titanium flame for a Hinderer XM18? If anyone's got a spare Hinderer XM18 lying around, there you go. If you want a Ziphius. Heard great things about that knife. Never checked one out myself, though. All right. Charles Wooden says, received the AZ USA Blade Works Blitzkrieg yesterday. Congratulations, man. Want to talk about an underrated knife? The Blitzkrieg it's so good. And it's an example of why timing, if you're going to make knives, if you're going to design knives and release them, the timing is very important, because the Blitzkrieg was released on pre-order at the same time as several other popular knives. And I have a feeling that negatively affected people's ability to say, yeah, I'll sign up for this, even if they wanted to. The timing was just not great. But how do you time those things, right? Like, you come up with an idea, like, do you wait for a dead spot? Like, I don't know. I feel like right now, you know, we had so many releases and drops in December that now we're kind of in a dead zone. We're you know, the calm after the storm, so to speak. Shout out to Mr. Prosthetic joining in as well. Good to see you, my man. All right, I'm catching up with the chat. Let's see where we are. Fookdoozle says, what's your opinion on CPM D2? I am so glad that you asked. Hang on. My favorite knife in my collection, and this is my favorite, is my Midgards Messer Thunbrar. And this one is the US edition, not made in the US, mind you, but it's the US edition. And this specific version was released when they created the US distribution branch of Midgards Messer. And so it's number 12 of 20. It's my favorite. I love this knife. The blade steel is CPM D2. I have sharpened it. I've done everything to it to make the edge geometry exactly the way that I want it to perform the way that I want. And I can tell you, having polished the edge and done some sharpening on it and used it and stropped it and had a chance to really test it out, CPM D2 is fantastic. And when it's well done, when it's done right, when the heat treat is done properly, it is ridiculously good. I would rather have well done CPM D2 than S35VN. And you know, call that a hot take if you will. But I've tried out so many like S35VN blades where I was like, yeah, you know, like it's decent, it's good all around steel, but I'm not wowed by it. CPM D2 is a whole nother beast. It's the powdered version of regular D2 for those of you who didn't know, and I love it. CPM D2 is far and away not regular D2. Now it does have one black spot on it, and that is that like regular D2, it is not super rust resistant. That's not to say that it's a flat out like horrible for rust resistance. It just means that you actually have to care for your tool. God forbid we spend money on these things and then decide not to oil the blade, decide not to clean them after use. Like, shame on you. You know, shame on the use your knife crowd who believes that if your knife doesn't look super beat up and bruised and like that all of a sudden you don't use your knives. Because especially for those of you who are new to this hobby, it is entirely easy to get into it, to buy something nice, scratch the blade, and then go to the Reddit forums looking for ways to, bring back the original luster. And then you get tackled by the use your knife crew who like posts pictures of their knives with like big chips in them and tape residue, and like, do what you want with your own knives. But I'm of the mindset that if you're going to pay good money for it and you believe in the quality, that you should take care of it. Like, if you had a bicycle, would you let the chain rust? Would you call it a terrible mechanism because the chain could rust? No, oil your bike chain, oil your knife blades. Even if it's a stainless steel, oil your blades. Why not? That will help make sure that things like tape residue don't stick to it very easily, unless you're going for a certain patina. But it is still more rust resistant than M4. I'm not a huge M4 fan. I know some of you probably are, but all right. Hey, we got Mikey Daily Carey in the house. Welcome in, Mikey. Zenex says, this is the year of using my stuff more. The half-breed blades, a large bush knife, and K110 is living in my brain? Is living rent-free in my brain. Okay. Sorry. My highlight thing cut off part of the message. It's hard to position those things right. Yeah, dude. I don't have anything in my collection that I refuse to carry. That's one of the reasons why I haven't invested more in this super expensive knives, because, you know, there's a lot of amazing pieces out there that go for like $700, $800, $900, $1,000. And I've sold enough knives where I could 100% have something like an Oz Roosevelt. I could 100% have a Koenig Arius. You know, I've sold enough pieces. I could have done that. I could have invested in that. And I don't, you know, look down on anyone that does. But for me, I could never carry something like that. That would make me feel uncomfortable, because a piece like that, you might down the road run into rough times and then want to resell. And then that one time that you carried it and used it and scratched it is going to drop the value, right? So if it's in my collection, I'm going to carry it at some point. And if it sits there and doesn't get used, then it will eventually be sold or traded or given away. We do plenty of giveaways. All right. Buds 101 says, Rollshambo, I live on the Oregon coast and have been told many times it won't do well here. That depends. So is it a coated blade? Is it like DLC coated? Is it PVD coated? Is it Cerakoted? If it's coated, you're probably fine. It's a semi-stainless steel, meaning that it's not entirely rust resistant, but also that it's not necessarily just going to rust, you know, just sitting there. I don't feel like you need to, you know, carry D2 around in your pocket with one of those silica gel packs. But if you oil your blade regularly, like depending upon how much you use it and what you use it to cut with most frequently, for regular EDC purposes, nah. If you're using it for like work, right? Like let's say that you got saltwater fish for a living. You know, if you're a big fisherman and you're out there on the coast, then yeah, you know, I wouldn't necessarily recommend D2 for that. I'd recommend 14C. In fact, something like this. 14C is going to be far better. It is extremely rust resistant. It's in line with LC200N. 14C should be the steel that you go for. You know, if you're going out on a boat all the time, then absolutely. But if you're just EDCing it, you know what? Wipe down the blade with some oil every now and then, you'll be fine. Absolutely fine. What oil would I recommend? Mineral oil. Shoot, WD-40. Rem oil. There's a lot you can do. I wouldn't recommend it for saltwater activities. But the good news is if you're trying to get a good solid EDC knife and you are on a boat, or, you know, like you get a lot of that saltwater stuff on your clothes and like in your pockets and stuff, just get your knives in 14C. 14C is the obvious choice at that point. Joe Isabella says, stainless isn't stain proof. People tend to get that twisted. They do. Stainless is not stain proof. 100% agree. Good point. Josh 33025 says, I know the knives I like because they are the dirty ones. You dirty knife. Come here. Oh man. Hey, shout out to Brian Kerr. Thanks for joining in, channel member. Ed B, yeah, stainless, not stain free. Ed B, thanks for joining in as well and for being a channel member. All right. And Sharp Guy ATX making an appearance. Jay Scott, Buds 101. Guys, I'm looking at, I have two chat screens up right now. One for me to click and highlight chats to put on the screen, and the other one is like the live chat. So I apologize if I'm missing any shout outs. Let's see here. Mr. Prosthetic says, I'm on the northern border of California coast and have only had problems with beaten knives. I leave in my old truck. I also don't live in one of those moldy ass leaky old houses. Well, I'm glad that, you know, your house doesn't leak and it's not moldy. Oh man. Zenex says, knife guy hack, instead of the gym, get a big knife and go hack at stuff like wood. Feel like a badass. Oh man. Welcome into Arrow Velocity, joining in as well. All right, guys. So let's do this. Bang. I want to check out some knives. I want to see what's out there. I want to see what's available, because I do feel like we're kind of in a slump. You know, there's not a whole lot of new stuff being released right now. Manufacturers, designers, they're all gearing up for SHOT Show, Blade Show, so on and so forth. So we're kind of in a bit of a dead zone post Christmas. Let's see what's coming out soon. Hey, look at that. The new bestech Nixie 3. The regular flipper instead of the front flipper, available now. That's cool. You know what I don't understand? I don't understand why the carbon fiber version is like $9-10 more expensive than the full titanium version. Last year I reviewed the regular Nixie, and that one was the front flipper version. And I remember wishing that it was the full titanium version. And then I looked it up. I'm like, why is this less? Why is the carbon fiber version more expensive? I don't get it. $221 though. S35 VN steel, Todd knife and tool design. Todd knife and tool, highly underrated. Love their designs. It's a good EDC knife. And I think that I actually agree with it being more of a rear flipper than a front flipper. Personally, I think that that's just more useful. Although let's keep it a buck. Most people are going to use the deployment hole or the fuller, but it is nice having a secondary option. I really like what they did with that. Hopefully I get my hands on one to do an actual review on the channel with. Sharp Guy ATX says, I won a Wingman EDC knife a year before last. Carrying a $500 NAF made me paranoid. I was worried I'd lose it. You know, we say stuff like, we're like, I would carry a $600 knife. I would carry a $700 knife. And then you get it and you start to realize, if I decide that I want to resell this, do I really want to carry it? Given the nature of the hobby for enthusiasts, how quickly we buy and sell and trade, that is something that's worth considering. So I get it, man, 100%. Joe Isabella says, the carbon fiber is more expensive. It covers the extra milling costs. I get it. I mean, I still think that I'm not going to complain that the version that I like more is less money. So I'm just not going to. I'm not going to complain. Mr. Prosthetic says, you should see the old hovel rotting away in the redwoods up here. Man. Zenex says, one day our super steels might get cheaper to make and have the same stigma as D2 does now. Stay humble. Yeah, it's only a matter of time before we start talking about M390 like we talk about D2, where we're like, you know, like it could be great, but you know, back in the day it was a super steel. Is this real life, where are we talking about like M390 being demonized to the point where it's just found in, you know, cheap budget knives? Is this going to become a thing? Is it going to happen? Or is it going to be Magna Cut, where we're like, you know, it's just trumped up D2. What is this, 61 HRC Magna Cut? Yeah, it's just D2. There's always going to be something better at some point. Hey, welcome into Justin, Ohio. happy to see you, man. All right, so yeah, the new Nix C3, it's out, it's available. Also this one, which I've been looking at, it's the Bestech Cuckoo, which, you know, it looks like, it's supposed to look like the, like a beetle with its wings folded up. I actually really like the fact that they made that a dagger style blade. I mean, it is a false edge, and I don't understand why it's a false edge, because the whole point of a false edge is to make it so that when you're holding it, you know, in the closed position, that it doesn't actually, you know, cut your hands or cut your pocket. But look at this. In the folded up position, there's no blade showing. Maybe it's just in the pictures. But I would say that it'd be cooler if that was actually an actual double-edged dagger. I think it looks cool. It's $59, 14C. I have no idea how good that 14C is. I have no clue. All right. Marco says scarab. Yeah. That's the beetle I was thinking of. Bookdoozle says that cuckoo is designed by an 8-year-old girl. Yeah, and didn't she get help though from Ostap Hell? I thought that was how the story went. Literally the Ewok Forest in Jurassic Park as well. Hollywood Love Coastal Ranch. The Ewok Forests. Yeah, literally. That is where they filmed the that scene from Star Wars, isn't it? Wouldn't be surprised at all. She did get help, yeah. I mean, I would assume, what 8-year-old is out here, you know, with the ruler talking about margins and doing graphic sketches? Like, I'm sure there is, you know, probably somewhere, probably in Asia, where their school systems just bring out these ridiculously brilliant people. Maybe, I don't know. That's a good point. Joe Isabella says, and just because some steel rust doesn't mean that it's less protected. Some alloys are made to form a layer of rust on purpose. What matters is if the alloy allows for rot. That's a very good point. You know, like patina oxidation, we force patina some stuff. So it makes sense. You know, sometimes that oxidation is actually a protective layer. But I would also venture to say that even if it is a protective layer, you know, we use knives to cut food. If I had a rusty knife, even if it was a protective layer of rust, I probably wouldn't use it for cutting my food at that point. Hey, BEDC in the house. Welcome in, man. He says, what up, fam? Can't stay for long, but got to pop in and show some love. Smash that like button. Do it. Do it. Smash the like button. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for dropping in. So yeah, the cuckoo looks great. I wonder if her follow-up knife is going to be the Cocoa Puff. Old advertising? Anyone? No? Just me? Okay. So this is one that I'm actually really looking forward to releasing. Not specifically this one with the Ultim scales, but in April, they're going to be doing more Kaiser Militas. The Jonathan style Kaiser Milita. I was told several times that this is a knife that I 100% missed out on last year. And I think I might reach out to Kaiser and say, hey, do you have a Milita that I could review? I'm starting to get to you know, work with more Kaiser knives. I might have to reach out to them and see if they'll send me one for review, because everybody, like, if you look at any of my Kaiser videos, I did one on the Veritas, and I got a lot of people that said, no, you're missing out. You have to check out the Milita. It's not bad. 129 bucks. Titanium, 154 cm. Again, Ultim not my favorite, but I also know that they make a version that has that micarta instead. The Ultim version is going to be lighter. So if you want a lighter version of that knife, 100%, the Ultim is the way to go. Something else that I've seen a lot of knives, not a lot, but I'm starting to see it more frequently, is this crystallized titanium motif. What's up with that? Has anyone tried one of these knives with the crystallized titanium? It's not just Tucson. I've seen this on several other knives. I'm curious. What's it all about? Does it change the texture, or is it just purely a visual thing? Hey, shout out to Gator Aaron, channel mod, channel member, joining in as well. Hey, welcome in. Hold on. Hold the phone. I'm trying to find the comment so that I can actually highlight it. Josh says, I instantly jumped on the Militaw on the last drop. It is a guillotine out of the box. Nice. Very cool. All right. Sharp Guy ATX says, just my rust magnet knife is a bird and trout that I like to take in the kayak when I fish. Field sharpener in my tackle box gets a workout. Nice. That's a good spot for a knife that you don't care about rusting, right? The tackle box. Yeah, shout out to Double D as well. Welcome in, man. BEDC says, I had the LC200N drop bear with those scales, and it was just like the regular titanium. Okay, so purely aesthetic then. Good to know. All right. What about DLT? Is there anything dropping on DLT? I'm going to guess not. They did a lot of drops. The K2 fixed blade, the Griffin Scout Medic. The attention to detail. Oh, big shocker. It's in stock. I wonder why. Because it's $750 or $850 or $1,050. One of these days, I got to check out what I have to check out one of these knives at some point. I want to know, like, because that looks like, don't get me wrong, I actually do think that texturing on the handle scales looks cool, but it reminds me of like the the texturing you get in a truck bed. That's a good looking knife. Is it $1,050 worth? It's up to you. That 20 CV better be legendary. That's all I'm going to say. It better be freaking legendary. What is the cheapest? What is the cheapest attention to detail knife? $650. Also in stock. Look at that. Plain titanium handles. Regular drop point blade. Like, this is for those who are trying to save money. The Mark III small. 6.5 inches overall, so it's not a big knife. Three and a quarter. A shout out to Gator Aaron, who just gifted 5 memberships. Hey man, thank you Gator Aaron. I appreciate it, brother. Definitely. Thank you so much. Very generous. And welcome into the 5 more channel members to join and / rejoin. I know some of you have been here before. We appreciate it, Gator Aaron. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. And shout out to Bluminati Ninja. Guys, if you haven't checked out Blue's channel, you really should. It's very, very entertaining. Definitely check out Bluminati Ninja's channel. It's worth it. It's entertaining. That's what I watch YouTube for. I watch to be entertained.
This is Sparta!
All right, we're going to Spartan kick this attention to detail $650 knife right out of the screen because I don't see it being, I bet you they sell the least amount of those. I bet when they sell knives, they're going to sell more of these more expensive ones. That knife does not do anything for me. All right, so we looked at the cheapest one. Let's check out the most expensive. $1,150, and it is this one with the truck bed styling on the handle scales. What is that, diamond plate? Yeah, you can tell right away. They definitely put a lot more into this one. But if I'm like, my opinion, and trust me, I get it, a knife is worth what people are willing to pay. So obviously somebody is willing to buy it at this price, but this looks to me like this is a knife that I would say $650. I get it. American made, titanium, $650. They say it's a rising grind, S35 yen, antique bronze tie tread plate. So what is that? Is that like the old Chevy patina? All right, so hey, Gator Aaron, thank you so much for dropping by, brother. Thanks for spreading the love. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your weekend. Same to you as well, Justin, Ohio. We'll catch you on the flip side. Zenex says, question, what's the hardest thing you cut with a knife this year? Hard as in like most difficult thing to cut, like difficulty level, or hard as in like just straight up like glass, for example? I would say the most difficult thing that I've cut this year. That's a good question. I've done plenty of cardboard. I fly through the cardboard. That is my most common use case scenario. Zip ties are on there, like the thick zip ties. That's one. But those, if you hit it at the right angle, they pop. So I don't know if I would consider that difficult. I've got some wood, cardboard, plastic. I'm not a hard user, and I'm very open about that. I am not a hard user. But I would say thick zip ties is definitely on there as being the toughest thing that I've had to cut this year. Oh yeah, I forgot something. Myself. I cut myself all the time. And I've been told I'm pretty thick. So yeah. All right. Ah, got something in my eye. All right, so not a whole lot going on at DLT that I can see. They got the blue camo anodized Chavez Redemption sharpshooter jack. I know a lot of people are looking forward to that. Not really my thing. But what about if we were to check out, let's do River's Edge Cutlery. What's going on at River's Edge Cutlery? Ooh, the Ace Biblio XL. It's going to be just shy of $300. It's going to be $285 or $225 if you want to go with the green canvas micarta. Not my thing. Not my thing. Looks like they got the Chavez RCK9. You know what I like about this knife? Chavez finally brought back the pocket clip that didn't have the screws sticking out of the skull. You asked for that. You asked for that. We talked about it. When I say we, I mean the knife community in general. We talked about it. And you know what? Ramon Chavez listened. It's like, here's a new one. A folding version of my famous fixed blade. No screws coming out of the skull of that pocket clip. It's a good looking knife. It is a little bit smaller than I had anticipated though. Like you look at this picture and I could totally see this being a full size, you know, like Liberation 229 version, but it's 7¼ inches long overall. That's not that big. $345. Not surprised. It's a Chavez. Thumb stud only. If you're a Chavez guy, you know it. Those of you like it is overly simplistic, but it's a certain style. Stonewash, titanium handle skills. I don't know why he didn't go with the single-sided captive pivot. I mean, I feel like his new logo would actually fit really well there on a pivot. Don't put it on the blade, Ramon. Put it on the pivot. Leave that blade clean. Leave it alone. I know Riot can do that for you. Why not? Take the logo off the blade. You could leave the blade steel. A lot of people actually do like having the blade steel listed on the blade. Okay, I get that. But take your logo off the blade, put it on the pivot, make it a single-sided captive pivot, and let's move on with our day. That is the one thing that if I were to review that knife, I would probably be like, listen, why is this logo, this new logo, which is circular, not put on the one spot where you could take it off the blade? Anyways. All right. Shop new arrivals. What do they have there? Maybe this. Look, if you want a good box cutter, there you go. The Surge Panchenko slip joint razor Gen 2. I mean, granted, you are paying $135 for literally a box cutter. But this is going to be great for those few people that actually want that. You know who you are. I bet you that's a damn good box cutter. All right. Welcome into Ant, another channel member in the house. He says that the RCK9 is a perfect knife in his opinion. I'm going to take down the comment highlight off of the screen because I am still not very good at using it. I need to figure that out better. So I'll just read out of the chat as I look at it. Zenex says, anyone have recommendations on cool things to use your knives for? Screwdriver, a pry bar. Don't do that. Most commonly I use my knives to open boxes, often that contain other knives. It's called the circle, the vicious cycle. But also I use it to open like bags of food, groceries, if I need to, for whatever my cutting task is. Drinkwater says, I picked up a mini Evo on sale at River's Edge Cutlery. I think Sharp by Design perfected the flipper. Nice. I still haven't checked out one of those. I need to do that. Fookdoozle says, unless I win a Chavez, I'm not going to be a Chavez person anytime soon. If you know, you know. They're not for everybody. Some people want something that has a more involved design, or they just think that it's too expensive for the simplistic designs that they have. I get it. Double D10 says, I love my 229 kickstop. 229 kickstop. My favorite flipper of last year. Without a shadow of a doubt. All right. Hey, James Alton says, lunch put me to sleep. Hello, everybody. Hey, welcome in, James, another channel member. All right. So yeah, not seeing a whole lot of new stuff. Oh, right as I scroll over a new CJRB, the Hectar. Crossbar style lock, green G10. Okay. New Kaiser Assassin, this one in carbon fiber. You know, I actually really like the Kaiser Assassin, and they sent me one. I've got my knife drawer behind the divider that I have up right now, but the button feels great. It is one of the best feeling buttons on a less expensive button lock knife. I know a lot of people are really high on the CJRB Mini Pyrite. We've got the Big Idea Design Thai utility knife, 157 bucks. All of a sudden, making that Serge Panchenko box cutter look, you know, reasonable. $157. Damn. Damn. This one includes a bottle opener. All of a sudden, it makes sense. All right. Has anyone actually bought one of these? The Wee Diatomic? You know, the knife that has 2 pocket clips, one on each side, but they actually designed it really cool. So it doesn't look off kilter at all. $391. Wee is getting super premium. It is a good looking dagger style knife. I'm not even mad at the 2 pocket clips, even though that is a little weird. I get it. They went for symmetry. The symmetry is important. Oh man, Fook Doozle says, if you know, you know, and if you're broke, you're broke. ZenX says, I really want to justify always wanting a knife in my hand. Whittling is helping, but I want some more projects. You know, for me, I'm a fiddler. I'm always working on my dexterity. It's what I do, and so I am constantly fidgeting with these to the point where it's important for me to not have it in my hand, because if I fidget, if it's in my hand, I'm going to be fidgeting. The thing about carrying a knife is that the more you carry one, the more you will find uses for it. Drinkwater says, Wee is really pushing to make treasure knives. I guess so. Thomas McDonald says, I received the CJRB Frack. It's a comfortable beast. Yeah. No, I love the Frack. And you know what I like is that they knew that people were going to like it. And so they came out with a premium version at the same time. You can get one, you know, in what is it, S90V and titanium as well. Let's see. Yeah. Well, that's the accelerator. My bad. Where's the Frack? The frickin' Frack. The premium accelerator looks pretty dandy as well. It's so hard to tell, just looking at the pictures, which one is the titanium and which one is the here we go. Yeah, the titanium. It's less shiny. $200, S90V, titanium, frag pattern handle scales. I bet it's a lot lighter than the steel version. Premium pocket clip. That's how you know the premium pocket clip. It's a bit of a beast, but it's a good looking knife. Feels good in the hand. Great ergos. Good action. It's big. Blade length is just shy of 4 inches. What do they have that's coming soon? Nothing. They're like, we're done. We've released 1 billion knives last year. We're taking a break. Isn't this an old design? The Waden? I could have sworn I've seen this before. That actually does look premium. Backspacer. Nice belly on that. Sharpening choil. It doesn't look like a particularly big knife. Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. 3 1/4 inch blade length, roughly. You know, just shy of 7.5 inches overall. So it's not tiny. It's a good size. Who designed that? Nick Rogers. There we go. Nick Rogers. Nick Rogers is great. The premium mini pyrite available for pre-order, $176, but you get the fat carbon fiber. Okay. The Artisan Cutlery Trucks ATZ. Who did this one? Is that a Ferrum Forged design? Yeah, okay, obviously Ferrum Forged. I should have known. It looks like the Malice blade shape, like every other Ferrum Forged blade shape. It looks good. $200 for that. We'll allow it. That looks solid, actually. Yeah, I like the access to that fuller too. I wasn't the biggest fan of the mini Malice, the button lock mini Malice. It just wasn't my thing. The Satyr, that's new. They've got the Spur Dog. The ATZ 1863 Spur Dog. The Titanium Proponent. Talk about knives that could, moonlight as bricks. There you go. I want one. I'm not picky. James Alton says the civivi Sendy with the Gaborsha wood is sweet. You know, I'm not a fan of the Sendy's blade shape. And for those who don't know, let's do this. Civivi Sendy. It's like a spay point. So for me, I'm just not a huge fan of the spay point. I would have preferred a deeper clip point, but it is going to stay robust. The benefit of that geometry is that if you look at the taper on the spine, the blade stays robust all the way till the tip, and so it's going to be very good for utility cutting. It's going to be very good as a regular everyday carry. I'm just aesthetically speaking, I'm not a fan of spay points personally, but I could see how a lot of people are. And knowing civivi, it's probably really good. I do like that they're changing up their pocket clips and they're becoming more creative with their pocket clips. They didn't used to be. Who knows? Maybe I'll review it and I'll completely change my mind. We'll see. The one that I really want to try out is the Artisan Cutlery Boa. Specifically this one with the jigged titanium handle scales. That looks fantastic. It's a triple striped design. I love the blade shape of the boa. And I reached out to Artisan Cutlery and I said, "Hey, could I just borrow one? Like, you don't have to give it to me. Just let me borrow one." And they're like, "We're out." That was right before they released. They're like, "We don't have enough inventory to send you one." Who knows? Maybe that will change. But yeah, they've got it on sale right now for $213. S35 VN. They're calling that a drop point? I mean, I guess. Yeah, it's a drop point harpoon. I would have said, you know what, just call it a harpoon. Drinkwater says, kind of interested in the trucks, looks big. It looks like a decent size. Jason says just ordered the two-tone MSI and the Military 2 with S110V. Very nice. Ed B says the Civivi Storm Howl looks good. You know what? I'll just pull up Civivi's website. There we go. The Storm Howl. I have a feeling that everyone's going to go for this version, the two-tone. I like the milling they did on this. The two-tone milling is great. What I don't understand is why we don't have a pocket clip insert here on the show side scale. Like, it's a show side scale. You're telling me you can't do all that great milling and then give us an insert piece to protect that other screw hole? Or at the very least, another screw to protect? A shout out to Mind of Milton for becoming a channel member. Thank you, Milton. Definitely appreciate it. Welcome in. Welcome in. James Alton says the Gaborsha wood handle has a drop point on the Sendy. All right. Did I not take a good enough look at this? You're right. You are right. That is a drop point. It's a multi-tool knife. Yeah, I like the look of that much better. I approve. $77. What blade steel are they using? Nitro V. Okay, yeah. I approve. I'm not big into wood handle scales, but Gaborsha wood is really, really solid for a wooden handle scale. Here we go. Lexan handles. When you want Ultim, but you don't want it to be yellow. The Civivi Chevalier. It's not new. That's not new. It's a remake of the same knife that we've seen already. The Propugnator. Propugnator? Look at that grind. That's a fixed blade. Nice. I'm a huge fan of unique grinds where they have a thinner hollow grind near the tip, and then they get thicker back there. That reminds me of the RS Knifeworks grind. Who designed this? Was this an in-house design? No, it was the T-clip designer Bob Terzola. Not surprised. I'm assuming, does this mean that Bob Terzola only designed the T-clip? Or the whole thing? It's $104. D2 blade. Black Kydex sheath. That is beastly. PG Knives. PG Knives. I don't know who that is. Yeah, designer PG Knives. There we go. So, yeah, Bob Terzola just did the T-clip. Makes sense. It's got a single 5-star review. We'll allow it. We'll allow it. Maybe it's a really good one. All right. What about the Wii? Wii Knife Company. They've come so far. Wii Knife Company. They've come so far. Oh yeah. This one, it's a So this one, the Tashi Barucha, the one and only, especially in this jungle wear, that looks fantastic with the hand rub satin finish. Yeah, like I get it. It's a flipper only, and that is the only deployment option, but that is gorgeous. Ooh, that is gorgeous. Now it says $575 for the price. That is a retail price. That's not usually the price that you pay. Let's see. We one and only. We knife one and only. These have to be available somewhere else right now. I believe Blade HQ for sure. Yeah, there we go. That's a better price. I mean, it's not that much better, but it's better. $437 as opposed to $525. Okay. Knife Center. $437. Okay. So you're going to pay $437 for that. Damn. $488 if you want. They knew that the jungle wear would be the one that everyone wanted. It's the second most expensive version. I know some people are a really big fan of this one, the Wii Hyperactive in Van X. It's cool that they use Van X. It's not a steel you see a whole lot. Derek says Bob didn't design the knife. Yeah. No, it was PG Knives. I'm not familiar with PG Knives. Apparently he designed the T-clip. I'm assuming on the Kydex sheath. Ant says Lexan, when you want handles that look good for 30 minutes. You know, Lexan is what they make headlights out of. The clear plastic on your headlights on your car. Wow. The clear plastic headlight material on your car headlights is Lexan. Once upon a time, a long time ago, I worked at a dealership in Idaho. It was a Subaru dealership. And we had a corporate rep come by because I was new. I'd never sold cars before. I had never really done commission sales before. And the corporate rep was like, I'm going to teach you how to sell any car on the lot. I'll show you how to sell it. And he's like, here's a trick. And he brought out a baseball bat. And I was like, what is going on here? Why are you carrying a baseball bat? Like, do you need protection money? He brought a baseball bat out with him because one of the ways that he liked to sell customers is he'd be like, you know, this car, take this baseball bat to this headlight. And if you can break it, I'll give you $100 if you can break this headlight. And then he proceeded to like swing right into this headlight and it just bounced off. Didn't crack, didn't break, didn't scuff. It's Lexan. Well, little known fact, most headlights these days, most modern headlights are made out of Lexan. So if you want to know how tough Lexan is, I don't know how it will perform on your knife, but it will repel a baseball bat. Interesting stuff. Lexan is very tough. Thomas McDonald says Lexan is trademark polycarbonate. Eyeglasses are made with it. Yeah. Not surprised at all. James Alton says, I used a banter with Gaborsha until I gifted it to a coworker. Only issue was scratches and dents. Yeah. You know, the nice thing about using wood handle skills is that, you know, if you use your knife a lot, the natural oils from your hand eventually will help patina and protect the wood. Something not a lot of people think about. Josh 33025 says, or just miss and put a dent in the car. Yeah. But I mean, then it's like, well, you didn't hit the headlight, so let's talk. I don't know, man. It was crazy. The guy was crazy. You meet a lot of characters at car lots, trust me. I don't miss it. I definitely don't miss it. Zenex says, how many knives do you all carry daily? I've been a 3-knife guy lately. Usually for me, it is normally, I'm in the 1 to 2 range. I'm in the 1 to 2 range because any more than 2 and at least one of those knives isn't getting pulled out of the pocket. So I like to usually carry a smaller knife and a regular size knife. Sometimes I just want something that's going to be a good box cutter. You know, for example, got this guy right here, the Concept Mini Corvid in titanium. This fits in the 5th pocket. I sacrifice nothing to carry this knife, but it is a fantastic little box cutter. Also, it doesn't scare anybody when I pull this out to cut something. No one's afraid of this. No one's going to call HR when I pull this out of my pocket, because a lot of times they're like, oh, that's the cutest box cutter I've ever seen. So I risk nothing. Like, this goes in the 5th pocket, it disappears there, and I've got a great box cutter in the Concept Mini Corvid. But then in my regular pocket, I might be carrying this, the HR Special, the Midgards Thunrar, the big boy. You could damage people without even opening the blade. Like, this is a brick. It's a folding brick, and I love it. So, like, that could be a carry right there. I'm a 2-knife guy. Hey, welcome in, Brasher Barry. Says, afternoon roll, James, Josh, Mom, Thomas, Mom's in the chat. Hey, Mom. Lord Needham, welcome in, man. When did you get here, Needham? Good to see you. He says 3 folders, 1 slip joint, and now a flashlight. Are you carrying the EDC 33? I love this thing. Absolutely love this thing. If you haven't checked out the Nightcore EDC 33, this is easily probably the most recommendable light that I've checked out on my channel. I love it. EDC 33. It's an amazing light. Fook Doozle says, I carry one nicer one, usually more fidgety and more budget one for beating on. Yeah, I mean, like, you got to have the right tool for the job. You know, like, something that I agree with is also carrying a pry bar. And the reason why is because when you're in a group of people that is not knife nerds and someone asks for a knife, oftentimes they're trying to pry something with it. Don't hand them your knife, hand them this. Be like, are you sure you don't mean a pry bar? You'll be surprised how many people are like, wow, you actually carry a pry bar. Yeah, I would much rather have that. Be careful before you hand someone your knife. Be careful. Sometimes they ask for a knife, but what they really want is a pry bar. Ed B says, I like to carry my Vosteed Gator with the Mini K. The Mini K? Lord Needham carries the Lalima Milani Slim. I've heard great things about Lalima. I haven't delved into that realm yet. The hundreds of dollars flashlights. You know, I carried lights like this. You know, the $100 and under category. I mean, not that I really have some moral high ground to stand on, because I also carry this. This has been great. I've been loving this one. The Jaeger MV3. So good. So good. Brasher Bear says, oh, 3 always a Swiss classic on my keychain. You're prepared. Sean Weiss says, I got a KZ02, a ZDP 189. The KZ02 is that in ZDP 189? Convex grind. People, you must experience steel. Keeps a razor sharp edge better than anything I've seen. I'm not surprised. ZDP 189 is often heat treated like 68, 69 HRC. That's ridiculously hard. A very popular, well-known knife made in that steel is the Rockstead Ego 2. The Ego, I don't know. But that knife is ridiculous. Convex grind. You never have to sharpen it. I mean, I would hope not. Convex grinds are hard to sharpen. Fookdoozle says, I wasn't sure I needed a small prize, so I started carrying a little no name I got for free. Since I started carrying it, I've used it about 100 times. Yeah, this one gets used, and I don't know if you could see this on there, but like there is definitely pry marks. You know what I've used this a lot for, actually, is when I disassemble knives to take them apart and maintenance them. This is really good for getting a stuck piece, to pop a stuck piece out. I carry the Opry 2, which is, you know, it's a name brand, but these aren't super expensive either. I want to see, these are like what, $50, $60? It also has a Torx driver, pocket clip, ruler, bottle opener, wrench head, ruler. I mean, this thing is fantastic. It is fantastic. I wish that it was about half an inch shorter, because then it would fit in my fifth pocket really well. It doesn't. It's okay. I'll put it in my other pocket. But the Opry 2, the O-Knife Opry 2 is fantastic. Great tool. Love using it. Lord Needham says, I was going to grab a CWF peanut, but decided on an SPK Lamia. Gonna need financially recover for... So some of us are in that zone, right? Where we're like, December was rough. I need to recover. I totally get it. Sean Weiss says, the HRC is 67. It's a poor man's ego. Nice. Hey, dude, I guarantee it's probably going to have better edge retention than most things that we think about. Bluminati says, need a pry, hand him the 4MAX Scout. Oh, you need a pry bar? Here's my 4MAX Scout. That's fantastic. Holy cannoli. Guys, I usually like my live streams to go for about an hour. And the reason my live streams only go for about an hour, two reasons really. First reason is because I get animated and I talk a lot and then I lose my voice. Like, I'm starting to need a glass of water. But also, it's Saturday. Get out there. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the day. Find new and cool and exciting things to use your knife with, or if necessary, just use your pry bar. We've already covered it. Get a pry bar, get a flashlight. But I wanted to say thank you for joining me for my second ever Saturday live stream. It's going to continue. We're going to keep going down this path every Saturday at 1:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And for those of you who also watch during the weekday, I will see you on the flip side this Wednesday at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Have a fantastic rest of your weekend, everybody. I'll catch you on the flip side.